Yeah, I had a little time this morning. I finally got around to setting up a turret press. I usually use my 4-hole turret for pistols, because it does that auto indexing. But I kept thinking I'd like to do it for that 351. And so this morning I was busy. I cast up a whole bunch of bullets and got them sized. And then I went and set up this press, because then I've got the automatic powder dispenser. So now I can crank out cartridges that are nearly unobtainable on a kind of an assembly line. But the powder dispensing die, I had to use from a 357. It's the Lee one. But that was, so I'm actually using, well, I'll kind of go through it. The first one is just the sizing die, and then I prime it. Then this first is a flaring die, but it just flares a little bit, so that the Lee flaring die that has the powder measure on it goes in without catching on the case. But it allows me to crank them out. And like I say, normally the auto index I use for pistols. But although this 351 is a rifle cartridge, I really consider it a pistol type cartridge, just that nobody ever chambered a pistol for it. Though it would be an interesting pistol round. That thing's a little sticky now and again. Not a real problem, but it just doesn't reset. That's too far. So it's an odd combination of dies. Well, everything's an odd combination, because the bullet is really that 357 bullet. That's a 358 that I made that sizing die to knock them down. But like I said, there's a tumble lube, and you can see at least just perfect amount of grooves in there for lubing it. So I pretty much got this set up now. But it's kind of nice to be able to do it this way for these, because, like I say, being an automatic, you tend to shoot them like you do with a 22 auto, and you can go through a lot of them very quickly. But now I can load fast too. And I can do it either with those cast, or I have these jacketed bullets. One of them too. They work exactly the same setup. Well, forgot to prime. Just that I wouldn't normally have to flare it that much. But see, good looking bullet. Cost me very little to make, considering they're an expensive bullet to buy. Or anything to do with these is a little odd and expensive. But this cheapens it up a lot that I can shoot the cast. And that last die where it seats it, it also puts a little crimp on it just so it doesn't hang up going in. But I'm in business now. Another thing I did get, I got a couple of different molds, and I'll have to go into them a little later. I've been playing around. This is for that Swede. But now these aren't regular production Lee molds. They're a special order replica thing. So I played around with them some when I was trying to make that other sight work, but I'll go back to playing around with them. And on the same order is a Lee mold that makes a mold for the 98, for the 8mm. That makes a bullet that is supposed to be a reproduction type bullet. Again, a special order mold. Haven't tried shooting these. I made some of them, and I'll load some up later and give them a try. I'm pretty happy with that modified Hungarian bullet that I'm using, but as long as they made a mold for these, I thought I'd try it. Kind of interesting in that the mold, these grooves here, they're very rounded, more so than I've seen on any other mold. And that isn't just an accident of the casting, that's the way the mold is made. I don't know quite why that is, but those special order molds are usually done in a like a group buy kind of thing. So these are like leftovers from somebody having a production run to make a group buy. And I've tried these, the Swede ones, and they're interesting, but like I say, I had to lower the power way down to make that sight work, but I'll play with them later. But that's a lot of twist going on in the long barrel. So I don't know if I'll actually get these to work, but I thought, well, I'll try them. If it doesn't work, then I'll try cutting the mold down, because you can actually take the sprue plate off, machine off the top of the mold, and I'll shorten it up and then try it. But I'll play with these for a while first. Just an experiment. These molds aren't that expensive. And like I say, this 8mm one, I didn't really have a need for it because I'm pretty happy with that modified Hungarian. But as long as they were available. But looking through this conglomeration of stuff that I've used all the time, mixed up set die sets and stuff, I would hate to be the person who ever has to sort this out eventually. But that makes a nice bullet. And I'll see, I'm going to go out and shoot some of these up this afternoon, but I've got a couple other loads for I've got quite a little shooting backed up that I have to do. And today it doesn't look too awful windy, so if the mosquitoes aren't too bad, I'll probably go at that. But I am a bit backed up on shooting. The problem is I had those, 3 guns in short order there that I acquired. And that thing hadn't reset. See, I think that's where if you got, you're supposed to have that graphite in the powder. But no harm, if it doesn't reset, it just wouldn't dump powder. Well, which could leave harm, but, as long as you pay attention, it works fine. But I think it's because I've got to have this thing set at quite a large gap because I'm using more powder than normally these things are set up to do. I could actually squeak out a little bit more. I'm running 14 grains of 4227. And it meters well and consistently. But for those jacketed bullets, I normally run 17. And I think I could actually crank her out to 17. Yeah. I'm on a regular production line.